Hey, Scott Radigan here from Functional Lawyer, and today we are learning what a registered agent is. More importantly, why do you need one, who you should pick to be your registered agent, and some of the pros and cons for those choices as we move forward. So, a registered agent is simply a person or a company that you have chosen and designated to receive formal notices on your behalf. You usually need to write that person's name and address and file that with the state when you're forming your entity. The reason for that, if someone needs to track you down or give you a formal notice, whether that's the complaint for a lawsuit or whether there's a dispute resolution process that has to happen in your state before medical professionals are served with lawsuits, or if there's a tax problem or any other sort of formal notices that need to be given to you, they are legally valid if they're given to your registered agent. What does that mean? So basically, they just want to know that you've received it. And the registered agent usually will sign for it because some of the requirements of being a registered agent are as follows. It usually has to be located at the address that you designate during business hours. Now, some states vary on the hours they have to be there, usually at least between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., but check the rules of your state for registered agents. So it can't be a PO box, right? It has to be a human or a corporation, or not just a corporation, any kind of business that can accept it in person. So another requirement is that it can't be a PO box, and so it must be a physical location. Now, who should you choose? That person, let's think. You can choose yourself. You can choose a third party as well, or second party, and those are kind of your options. So you can choose anybody that's a resident of that state or that is located in the state. So for example, many of our providers have taken advantage of Florida's telemedicine law, where you can register from out of state and practice telemedicine in Florida. To do so, though, you must designate a registered agent, so a way they can formally serve you with any kind of notices. So your cousin in Boca Raton could be your registered agent. There's no requirement that they have to be anything formal. However, they do need to be physically present at that location during business hours. So that is one option to do. But let's talk about who you should choose and who you can choose. So you can choose your cousin in Boca, but you probably don't want to. And the reasons are there are very tight deadlines for some of these responses. So if you get served a complaint, either in state court or federal court, you usually only have about 20 or 21 days to file an answer to that complaint. What that means is you only have 3 calendar weeks or fewer to read the complaint, not freak out, find an attorney or somebody capable of answering that complaint and writing an answer to it without prejudicing your legal rights, and then actually file that with the court. So there's not a lot of time. So if your cousin puts it in the mail or puts it on their kitchen table and then goes out hanging out with their friends for the weekend and then calls you on Monday and says, oh yeah, I got this thing in the mail, you already lost 3 days. You don't want to do that. So your next logical choice is, okay, I'm just starting a business. I'll just choose me. I'll be at the location of my office or wherever you're choosing to work. And that's a valid option too. You can be your own registered agent, keeping in mind that you ought to be in the location you say during the hours that your state designates, at least business hours, at least several hours a day. You can also choose a third party to do it for you. So there are tons of companies out there that offer registered agent services. Many of them are nationally known, some of them are local, but you can also just see if your CPA is willing to be a registered agent, or the firm that your CPA works for. If you are friends with an attorney, attorneys often serve as registered agents. And you can also check really anybody that's a resident in your state. But just keep in mind, they have to be diligent. They have to forward you the notice, or at least let you know about it, like scan it and send it to you almost that same day for the tight deadlines we talked about. And you don't want to mess that up, because if you don't answer a complaint in time, you lose the lawsuit. If you don't answer administrative things in time, you could get a fine, you could get your license, dings on your license, and nobody wants that. So choose yourself, choose a third-party company, but don't be scared by the words registered agent. It's really a formality for somebody that can just accept things on your behalf, or if it's you that can accept things and the person that's serving that thing on you can say, yes, I gave it to the registered agent, and then everybody knows that you received it on that day at that time. So I'll put some links below this video and in this blog that with some recommended names, but really you can also just Google any third-party registered agent services, your state, enter, and you'll come up with a bunch of list of companies. I don't do that at Functional Lawyer, even for people that are located in Florida, but you can get pretty good service of registered agent services for anywhere between $49 a year to $99 a year or above. So not that expensive to do, very important to have, particularly one thing I forgot, if you may want to choose that third party company to do it if you're running a business out of your home and you don't want to give your home address to the public records of the state. You can choose a PO box for your business usually, but the registered agent cannot be a PO box. It must be a physical location with people in it. So that would be another reason to choose a third party over yourself for registered agent services. If you have any questions, reach out to us at Functional Lawyer. You can set up a time to review your legal situation with a legal health assessment. But until then, we'll see you in the next video.